deal, man? It's your boy coming at you again, man. More content. On my way, coming back from getting it, on my way to go get it again. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm just tapping in with y'all, man. It's been a minute. I want to talk about the trickle-down effect. You know what I mean? It's like, obviously for every action, there's a reaction. You know what I mean? Every time something happens, it's like it's gonna cause other problems, other issues. You know what I mean? Okay, you take drugs, for example. Okay, we got drugs. Okay, so when somebody's on drugs, they're not taking care of their kids, or they might lose their kids to the quote-unquote what you call the system. Okay, so now that you lost your kids are in the system, and then your kids are traumatized, and your kids are, could possibly traumatize other people, the people that might have to take care of them, the people that might have to deal with them, the people that might have to interact with these children, because the mother was traumatized. Now the child is traumatized. Now the child is traumatizing their children, and it just like keeps going on and on and on, just a trickle-down effect until that person makes a conscious decision. It's like, okay, this is what I come from, but I'm not gonna allow that to affect me. I'm not gonna let that be me, even though I know I come from that. I'm not gonna let that be me. Until you make that conscious decision, more than likely you're gonna end up in the same situation from which you have came. I work with kids that are in these that are victims of these circumstances, and it gets difficult at times because dealing with teenage boys, for the most part, I say you got about 9 years, to plant seeds in these kids' brains, because when these kids are going to the system 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, they already men. They already have it made up in their mind on who they are. They say that the mind doesn't develop until a man's brain doesn't develop until 25, 26. But if you talk to your average 15-year-old, 16-year-old that's been traumatized, that doesn't have family, that's using drugs, that's participating in gang activity, they already think that they men. They think that they have it figured out already. So when you don't take care of these kids and you don't raise them properly, you're throwing them into society, and they're basically like society's trash. You know what I mean? In a nutshell, because the juvenile halls don't even want to deal with them. The courts don't want to deal with them, so they dump them into these group homes. They dump them into these foster homes where the homosexuality activity is at an all-time high. All of these homo thugs in the closet, what have you, gangsters, and it's just a bad situation. A lot of these kids have been abused, and ultimately they end up abusing other people. And it's difficult to get through to these children, or quote-unquote young men, because they're just too far gone. Even if a young man has a mother and a father in their home, even these parents are struggling nowadays because of the I'm holding the phone with my hand, man, because my clip broke that I would hang the thing on, so bear with me. I keep moving, switching hands and stuff like that. I'm trying to drive too. When the kid is I lost my train of thought though, but when the kid is going into adulthood, it's difficult to make that transition because all of the outside influence. So if you have a mom and then you have a dad, it's difficult for those parents as well, because they have the outside influence from their peers, the music, these phones, these devices, everything like that is selling your kids a dream. So by the time, even if you grow up with a mom and a dad, by the time you're 6 years old, you're already addicted to some type of device. You're already dependent on pixels and You know, I'm not saying you can't give your child a device, but everything has to be like in moderation. And it ain't what you do, it's what you're using it for. Because if you're using it for educational purposes, if you're using it to figure out the way to have some type of monetary gain, to build some type of generational wealth, okay, that's one thing. But if you're using it to just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and become over hyper sexual and stuff like that, that's when it becomes toxic. That's when it becomes a problem. And this is what I see within the generations today. I mean, I'm showing my age a little bit though, but I didn't have social media in high school. We had cell phones towards the end, but you know, these was flip phones, these was chirps and all of that type of, you know what I mean, stuff. You know, when I first got to high school, man, cats still had pagers. People were still using pay phones and stuff like that, even though cell phones was around. I mean, I ain't that old, but I am, you know, creeping up on 40 years old this year, you know, Lord willing. So I see the difference, you know what I'm saying? I see the difference from when I was young until now. And I guess, I mean, which makes sense because, you know, when I was a young pup, you know, a lot of older cats and my elders, you know, they were saying the same thing about the difference in our generation and how things was changing, how things would never be the same. And you just kind of brush it off as like, yeah, you know, that's what all people say. All old people say though, but man, it's true. The generations are getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and the system does nothing but enable these people. They enable these kids to become nothing. To become, it's the pipeline, the prison pipeline. So all of these kids whose moms are on drugs, their dads are on drugs, or in prison, basically, if you don't take care of your kids are going to end up in prison, or they're going to end up dead, or they're, you know, more than likely, or homeless on the street. But then you have these businesses in place and stuff like that. If everybody, look, we're not fixing the problem. They have all these rules and these, how can I put this? And these systems, there are so many rules in place that prevent us from doing a good job to really make a difference in these children's lives. Okay, yeah, we provide food and shelter, but outside of that, there's nothing outside of that that can really help us, you know, deal with these kids the way they really need to be dealt with. So we're enabling them, ultimately fattening them up for the slaughterhouse, which is sad. But if everybody took care of their kids, if everybody did what they were supposed to do, they wouldn't have a business. So they need people to not take care of their kids. They need people to live a certain way and do certain things and stuff like that, because if not, then they wouldn't have a business that's thriving. Man, some of these group homes or quote unquote STRTP, some of these people are getting $10,000 per kid a month, roundabout, give or take, depending on the diagnosis. So if they can get some type of false diagnosis or some type of diagnosis and get you on some type of medication, they're gonna get more. So if you got 6 kids in the house, okay, that's $60,000 a month. You know what I mean? Hey, that's money. Some of these facilities house way more kids than that. So it's all about filling the bed. It's all about making money off of these kids, but ultimately they get pushed right into the prison. They have systems in place to keep them where they're at. Okay, you have your hit and misses, you have your unicorns, you have your success stories where people make it out and people figure it out and stuff like that, and opportunity comes their way and they're prepared for that opportunity, which is luck, by the way, when opportunity needs preparation. Okay, you have these anomalies, type situations, but I'm talking about the majority of the kids that are in the system and that I work with and dealing with these social workers and all of that. They all end up in jail at some point in time, or die prematurely, or just homeless, wandering the streets, committing petty crimes. So everything is going around in just a circle. Everything is going in a circle like this, you know what I mean? Everything affects everything else. Okay, you don't take care of your kids. Okay, we got a system in place that's going to keep them to most likely end up like the people that didn't take care of them in the first place. Just, okay, give them whatever they want. Okay, it's fun. Oh, it's okay, and all of that type of stuff. And really, life doesn't work like that. Life, they don't just give you whatever you want in life. You have to work for it and stuff like that. So these kids grow up with no discipline, and then they get stripped from their families, and then they get put into another system to where they don't obtain any discipline. We can't be firm with them. We can't talk to them a certain way. There's certain things with certain restrictions that we can't put on them. It's like, oh, okay, their rights and stuff like that, though. So basically the system is like, we rather make them feel comfortable and happy instead of giving them the tough love and the discipline that they need, that they can carry with them to be successful. Like, the system has the mentality of like, okay, we'll just do everything for you. Okay, everything's okay now. Oh, your mom didn't want to take care of you. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do everything for you, and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to work for anything, and you can just do this, and I'm just gonna take care of you and take care of you and take care of you. Ultimately, making you lazy and dependent. Basically, the system, these group homes, all of this stuff is basically making these kids, these young boys, these young girls become super dependent, lifetime dependents on the government. It's what they want. It's what they want, and it's sad. And I just, working in this field, I feel like it don't get talked about at all, and it just kind of gets swept underneath the rug, and it's just like, okay, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with the girls too, the young women, you know what I mean? It's the same thing, man. They not teaching these young girls, these young ladies, the things that they need, you know what I'm saying? They don't. This is why in the girl group homes, majority of them are prostitutes. A majority of them are looking to sell their bodies and stuff like that, because they feel like that's the only value that they have. The boys is doing it too. Nobody wants to accept accountability. Not the parents that had the kid, not the kid, not the people who have gained custody of the child. Everybody just passing the blame. Like, everybody just dumping the kid off on somebody else. Nobody wants to step up to the plate and deal with the failures of society. No, nobody wants to deal with that. They don't. Nobody wants to deal with the trickle-down effect is from the drug abuse and from the crime, and it's just nobody wants to deal with it. Everybody wants to just push it off on somebody else. Like, oh, okay, yeah, it's all right. We'll take care of your kid now. Yeah, you'll take care of them, all right. You'll take care of them to the point to where that they're never going to be able to do anything for themselves. They're never going to hold accountability. They're not going to try and break the link, be the change. You know what I'm saying? That needs to happen. And it's sad. It really is sad. But that's just the way it is, I guess. Will it ever change? I doubt it. Because these prisons, they make a lot of money, right? These prisons, they make a lot of money. So they need everybody to be in these situations. They need everybody to be dependent. They need everybody to keep it going. Because if we really started fixing these issues, whether it be drug use, whether it be homelessness, there will be a lot of people out of work. There will be a lot of people out of a job. It's people making money off of problems, but nobody's actually fixing the problems. It's just an illusion that we're going to fix the problem. It's just an illusion. A pacifier. It's like those people that make money by teaching people how to make money. They're selling you the idea of something. They're selling people, they're getting money for the idea of fixing homelessness, the idea of getting people off drugs, when in all actuality it might possibly be an impossible fix. But it's money, it's a hustle, it's money. It's money in making a half but attempt to fix the problem. There's money in it. If you just gotta look like you trying to fix the problem or change something, and you gonna